What's the story behind the mysterious door located beneath the right ear of the Sphinx? This question has always been one of the most fascinating mysteries surrounding the Great Sphinx. In this video, I'll address this question based on various theories and studies conducted around the world. So, if this question has ever intrigued you, or you're curious about the answer, I suggest you watch this video carefully until the very end. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy the video, please give it a like. Let's start by examining the first topic. What exactly are we looking at? The body of the Sphinx consists of 3 limestone units, with the head made of a harder material than the rest. Because of this, the head's color is darker and has experienced less erosion overall. Over the past century, the head of the Sphinx has undergone several major restorations, many of which have been somewhat crude, imprecise, and arguably unnecessary. But that's what we have now. We know that there's a hole at the top of the Sphinx's head. It's believed that this hole, likely carved during the 18th dynasty, may have been used to attach a headdress called a nemes to the statue. This carving might have been done by a pharaoh who showed renewed interest in the Sphinx, such as Amenhotep II, who built the Sphinx temple, or Thutmose IV, who excavated the Sphinx from the sand and restored it, leaving behind the dream stele. Alternatively, it could have been Queen Hatshepsut, often depicted as a Sphinx. However, these ideas remain up for debate. Apparently, the hole on the top of the head was large enough for a person to fit inside, and deep enough for someone to stand in it with their head sticking out. According to archaeologist George Reisner, who studied the Giza Plateau, the hole's depth was estimated to be between 1.5 and 1.8 meters. Reports also suggest this hole was once deeper and later filled with cement to protect the head from internal erosion. Today, it's sealed with a metal cap, and information about it is minimal. But what is that strange hole under the ear? For starters, if it was a secret entrance into the Sphinx, logic says that it's not a wise place for an entrance at all, because firstly, it's exposed and not very hidden, and secondly, it's not easy to access at all, unless by using a large ladder, which again is not easy to hide from public view. In addition to this size, this so-called door is so short that you have to crawl inside to pass through it, because its height is half the height of a normal person. In addition, the shape of this entrance is very basic. If the Egyptians could carve such a large and amazing figure and face from a natural hill, then why didn't they build a better entrance? Due to the presence of numerous other holes on the top of the head, on the back, a hole that is level with the ground behind the Sphinx, a simple doorway located on the northern side of the Sphinx, and a hole between the legs that are clearly visible to all. Why did people have to make a tunnel under the ear when there are other ways to enter it? There are also discussions that raise the possibility that this hole may be a new construction that was dug inside the Sphinx's head in the modern era and then filled with stone. But as you can see in this picture, this hole definitely existed in the 1920s. So it means that it has always existed, but the way the shadows fall on the Sphinx's head prevents this hole from being seen, and it was difficult to see. You can almost see it in this photo from the 1880s, and even in old antique drawings, the strange hole is clearly visible, and here it is in a drawing from the early 1700s by Frederick Ludwig Norden. What then are we seeing? To clearly observe this feature, one must rely on high-quality photos or videos of the Sphinx. Interestingly, there is also a small hole beneath the left ear, almost mirroring the one on the right. Although smaller, its existence suggests a deliberate design. Zooming in on the hole beneath the right ear reveals a vertical groove alongside it. The groove matches the height of the opening, but it's evident that nothing has been inserted into it. It's part of the same stone. What some mistakenly call a door or lid is actually a natural extension of the rock, firmly attached to its place. This brings us to 2 plausible interpretations. The first is that the grooves and holes were created by the ancient Egyptians to attach ornaments like earrings or a beard to the Sphinx. The Sphinx once had a prominent beard under its chin, fragments of which were discovered by Captain Caviglia in the 19th century. It's possible that a larger beard extended around the face and was secured under the ears for stability. The second possibility is that the holes were the beginnings of excavations by early treasure hunters or archaeologists seeking access to the Sphinx's interior. However, this seems less likely, given the easier access points elsewhere. If true, this may have been done by figures such as Al-Mamun Caliph Abbasi in the 9th century, Napoleon, or any other person. Personally, I adhere to the earlier interpretation, which suggests that something was once attached to it. To strengthen and further support this claim, if you look at the position of the rectangular notch, you'll see that it is not located on the finished surface of the Sphinx's face. You can observe that the surface of the face seems to have been polished and finalized, likely either by smoothing the limestone or by covering it with a layer of some type of plaster. This smooth and finished surface continues up to the area before the ear and the rectangular notch beneath it, where it stops. Below this point, the stone is much rougher and lacks any final finishing or polishing. This notch suggests that something was likely attached to it, extending downward and beneath the chin, and it is plausible to believe that it was connected to the prominent beard, fragments of which still remain and can be seen here. You can even trace the path of this beard in an 18th century painting, showing where it once extended. This indicates that what we see is a notch on one side of the head, not a stone blocking a hole. Beneath the head of the Sphinx, there was once a statue placed on a platform, as shown in this reconstructed model. However, only a fragment of this statue was uncovered during historical excavations of the Sphinx. Unfortunately, only part of its crown remains. This reveals that the statue depicted a pharaoh, likely from the 18th dynasty, and it is believed that the statue and the Sphinx's face portrayed the same individual. All of this discussion about the sealed entrance beneath the Sphinx's ear ties back to stories circulating in the media and among the public involving a Russian boy named Boriska Kyprianovich. He claimed that in his previous life, he had been a spaceship pilot from Mars who flew to Egypt. Boriska stated that when the secrets of the Great Sphinx of Giza are finally revealed, Earth will be forever changed. Moreover, he claimed that the mechanism to open it is hidden somewhere behind the Sphinx's ear, although he couldn't recall its exact location. But should we believe his claims about the Sphinx? I don't think so. The only information available comes from a few news reports, which lack credible or substantial details about Boriska. Since he has apparently disappeared and there has been no further news about him, it is unlikely we will gain more insight into this story. Furthermore, the feature we are discussing in this video is located beneath the Sphinx's ear, not behind it, so any connection to Boriska's claims is, at best, extremely weak. Logically, such things should not be taken seriously. There are no reliable sources, and they certainly should not serve as the basis for a hypothesis. However, during our investigations, if you closely examine this photograph, you can see fine and intricate details around the eyes, and in some areas, traces of the original paint are still visible. While many of the Sphinx's secrets may have been unveiled, geophysical studies indicate that there are still unexplored cavities beneath the structure. Hopefully one day these cavities will be examined. Thanks for watching.